Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. You know it makes sense. Come on, you Irons. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is, wherever you're watching this around the world. Welcome to Falls from Iron, welcome to Transfer Talk, and I am Gatesy, your host. This is a story regarding Real Madrid and Belgium International former Chelsea player Eden Hazard. Now, Eden Hazard went to the Bernabeu 2 years ago now, in a deal around about 89 million pounds with a possibility of it raising to 150 million pounds. In the time that he spent there, he's been there 2 and a bit years now. It's not really worked out for him. He's 30 years of age now. He had 352 appearances in his time at Chelsea. He managed 110 goals, 92 assists. But in his 2.5 years so far in Spain, he's only made 54 appearances for Real Madrid, netting 5 goals and 9 assists. Now, the story goes that he could be available in the January transfer window, with Real Madrid saying that they will accept a £21 million transfer fee for a player that they bought in, like I say, for anywhere between 88 to 150 million pounds, depending upon how the deal was structured. And with a loan with an obligation to buy in January, which is cheaper than what they're looking for if they let him go at the end of this season, which is a £25.5 million price tag. Now, he's a fantastic player, I've got to say. I mean, he's a 2-time Premier League winner, and he's very, very skillful. The only things that make me wonder, first thing, he's 30 years of age, and he's on a wage in Madrid of £416,000 a week. Now, there's absolutely no chance he's going to get that at London Stadium, even despite the fact that we've obviously got Daniel Kretinsky that's come in. I mean, if he gets anywhere near that, then you're going to have an awful lot of players that are going to be asking a hell of a lot of questions as to, you know, why they're not on a similar sort of price, a similar sort of wage. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I think that he would absolutely, would he make the squad stronger? Massively. I mean, the guy is an absolutely fantastic player. And if there's any truth in this rumour, then I would say that if we could get the finances right, and he's still a hungry player that wants to come to the Premier League, wants to work under David Moyes and wants to prove himself, work hard, then I would say, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But are we getting a player that's maybe he's done what he's done in the Premier League? He's proved that he's worth in Premier League football. He's gone to Spain. It's gone a little bit pear-shaped for him there. His bank balance has been fairly well topped up, and I just wonder, with a player like that, is that someone that's maybe going to come back to the Premier League that's not quite the player that they once were, that he's kind of lost his edge a little bit? This is a bit of a risk in my view. According to this story, though, the other clubs interested are Everton. Newcastle have also expressed an interest, and it appears that there's also interest in clubs in his native Belgium and also Turkey, but his agents are reportedly looking to get him back into the Premier League. So it would seem that ourselves, Everton and Newcastle were the 3 prime candidates for Eden Hazard to turn up. Now, whether this happens in January, as I say, Real Madrid want to get him out because obviously he's costing them an awful lot of money for a player that's not having an awful lot of impact, if we're being completely honest about it. And so, like I say, they're quite happy to let him go for £21 million. And if a club takes him on loan in January with an obligation to buy, or they'll let him go for £25.5 million in the summer. Let me know your thoughts. As I say, I'm a little bit torn on this one. As I say, I'm just a little concerned that this could be a player that could be, if he's anything like the Eden Hazard of his Chelsea days, massive fan of his. He was a fantastic player. But I'm not too sure that Eden Hazard is there anymore. I just wonder whether his motivation, his desire, whether his hunger has possibly been stunted by his spell in La Liga, and that maybe we're not going to get the player that once upon a time there was over for Chelsea. But looking at it, I mean, he's quite a versatile player. I mean, he can play. His main position is at left winger. So would he be an upgrade on Pablo Fornals? Again, it's if we're sort of comparing the Pablo Fornals of now to the Eden Hazard that we saw for Chelsea, is he an upgrade on Pablo Fornals? Yes. But is he still that Eden Hazard? That's my conundrum. Is he an upgrade on Said Benrahma? Yeah, I'd say so. But again, I'm comparing Said Benrahma now to the Eden Hazard that left Chelsea. I'm not comparing him to the Eden Hazard that there is now, because he's not played that much. It's kind of difficult to gauge how much of that old Eden Hazard is left. He can also play as an attacking midfielder, but again, that's a position that if we bring Lingard in January, well, that's the position he's going to occupy. The other position he could take up would be right wing. Now, again, would he be an upgrade on Jared Bowen? Yeah, again, the Eden Hazard of Chelsea days, would he be an upgrade on Jared Bowen? Yeah, he probably would be, if we're being completely honest. But I'm not sure. Like I say, but David Moyes, if David Moyes does want this player, then I think I would be looking at it and saying, well, there's very little that in transfers that David Moyes has got wrong. So again, I'd have to probably take a step back and as a supporter say, well, I put my trust in David Moyes. So if he wants him, then so be it. But like I say, the finances are also something that not so much in terms of the transfer outlay. As I say, if we was to get him in January on loan initially with an obligation to buy to sign him in summer for £21 million, and if we get a player that's anywhere close to the Eden Hazard of his Chelsea days, that's an absolute snip. I'll say that straight. It is an absolute snip steal. So it would be well worth it. But he comes, like I say, he's going to command a fair chunk of change. I don't think he's going to get to 416 grand a week. I really don't. But he would command a fair chunk of change, it's fair to say, for him to leave La Liga. I mean, if you look here, his on Transfer Market, it says his contract is up. It doesn't run out until June 30th, 2024. So he would be walking away from 2 more years on that sort of salary, and whether Madrid would sort of like stump up part of the remainder of his contract in terms of his wage to maybe make it a more doable proposition from the other side of the fence, I don't know. But it's an interesting one. As I say, there's a lot of imponderables. I mean, I suppose the way to look at it, I suppose, is in some funny sort of ways, is that if Eden Hazard had gone to Real Madrid and had actually set the world alight, we would never be in a position to get a player of that caliber in the first place, I guess. So, but I'm just not too sure. It is a risk, I think. It's like I say, if we're going to get the player that's anything like what was at Stamford Bridge, though, for that 7-year period, I would say fantastic, get him in. But I'm just a little bit unsure about this. Guys, the comment sections below, there may be some of you guys out there that are similar to me and are a little bit apprehensive and a little bit cautious. There might be others of you that think, actually, this player, I've seen him regularly in La Liga matches. He's still got it. He's still a quality player. It's just that he's been surrounded by an absolute depth of talent, and he's found it very difficult to navigate his way through. Comment section below. As always, we want your comments. We want your opinions. Get stuck into it. Eden Hazard coming in on a loan, obligation to buy £21 million. Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's a move that we should be looking to get through, or do you think we should steer well clear? So get your comments in. As usual, guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and keep this channel growing and moving forwards. We thank you very much indeed for your support. Stay safe. Only one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.